everyone. In the previous video we have studied about parts per million, which is used to express concentration of solution. In this video we are going to study another parameter which is called as mole fraction. To represent mole fraction we are using a symbol which is written like this, and it's called as chi. So mole fraction of any component, it is given by number of moles of that component divided by total number of moles of all the components of the solution. So to understand this formula, let me take the example of a binary solution. You know that in a binary solution there will be two components. Let me take it as one solute and one solvent. Or in general, let me represent binary solution which is consisting of component A and component B. Now, if you want to find out the mole fraction of the component A, then you have to represent it using a symbol chi A, or it's called as mole fraction of A. So whatever the component for which you are going to find out mole fraction, that component should be written in subscript like this. So you can write here chi A. This is the component for which we are going to find out mole fraction. That's equal to number of moles of that component. So which is the component here for which you are going to find mole fraction? That is component A. So you have to put here number of moles of component A. That is divided by total number of moles of all the components of the solution. So this binary solution has two components. One is A and another one is B. So total number of all the components means Na, let it be the number of moles of component A. Nb is the number of moles of component B. So if you add these two components moles together, you will get the total number of moles of all the components of the solution. So this is how you have to find out the mole fraction of A. Similarly, if you want to find out the mole fraction of B, the formula is similar, but you have to write here chi B is equal to number of moles of B divided by total number of moles of all the components in the solution, that is Na plus Nb. In general, if there are I components in a solution, let me consider it from 1, 2, 3, so on up to I components. In this case, if you want to find out the mole fraction of the first component, which is represented as chi 1, that is given by number of moles of the component 1 divided by sum of the moles of all the components. How many components are there here? I number of components are there. So you have to add the moles of all these components, N1 plus N2, so on up to Ni. Or I can write it as Ni divided by N1 plus N2, so on up to Ni. That summation I can write it as summation of Ni. So this is for component 1, mole fraction for component 1. Similarly, for component 2 you can write it as N2 divided by summation of Ni. So this is how you have to find out the mole fraction of particular component that is present in the solution. So it is given that in a given solution, sum of all the mole fractions is unity. So let me consider binary solution which is having component A and component B. In that case, the mole fraction of component A added with the mole fraction of component B, you will get the answer as unity. So if the solution has I number of components, then the mole fraction of component 1 added with component 2, 3, so on up to the mole fraction of last component, that's equal to unity. So why the sum of mole fractions of all the components of any solution, that's equal to unity? To understand this, let me take the example of apple or any circle. Now I'll divide this circle into, I'll take a 1/4 part from this, so that what is remaining? 3/4 will be remaining. I separated 1/4 from the whole. So if you add this 3/4 with the 1/4, what you should get? You should get as 4 by 4, that's nothing but a whole, that is unity. So similarly, all the mole fractions of the components are, they are fractions. So the summation of the fraction must lead to a whole, that is unity. So always the sum of the mole fractions of the components of any solution in general, it is equal to unity. So that's about the parameter mole fraction, which is used to express concentration of the solution. Thank you.